We know that the Bitcoin ETF is the almighty subject of discussion, has been for a few months now, and we are coming up on the date of what everyone expects it to be passed and or to be allowed to get started. At least I don't think it'll officially trade on this date, but it'll be approved to actually start, and that is this right here. This is the Galaxy Digital CEO. Says that a spot Bitcoin ETF will be approved before January 10th. That's the date that everyone's going crazy about. How great is this guy? I don't really know. He has been involved in the Terra Luna stuff, the kind of Ponzi-nomic things that have happened before, and he was a big proponent of them. And we all know how those turned out. So how credible is it? Who really knows? But it's more about everyone is saying this, right? This is kind of the consensus right now that January 10th is the day that everyone expects the SEC to announce that the bunch of or a handful of these Bitcoin ETFs are going to start trading. And with that comes all of these guys launching their own commercials and ads for their ETFs. Now, I don't think any of these really guys, other than maybe Fidelity, who I don't know has a commercial, I haven't seen one at least from them, but they've been involved in Bitcoin before and have like a real interest there. These other firms like BlackRock, they are here to collect fees. They don't really care about Bitcoin. They just want to make more money, and that's what they're involved in doing. So, but they have released some commercials, and we've got at least 4 here to look at and kind of rank and see, are they any good?
You know what's interesting these days? Bitcoin. Look for Bitwise, my friends.
So this is Bitwise's, and short, sweet, to the point, not really impressive, just kind of, they say the word Bitcoin, right? Not really impressive commercial. I guess they're advertising their thing. Who really knows? These commercials, though, they should get better over time just because there's not really any competition in these commercials right now. The ETFs aren't trading, so they're not really inclined to go and get those fees, and there's not a lot of people doing these. So these commercials that are out right now, not the best, not very good at all. But over time, they should get better as competition ramps up and more ETFs get approved. There should be a handful of ETFs on January 10th, and then it should get more serious after that. But here's a second one from Vanik. These guys have actually been pretty big into Bitcoin. They've been big proponents of it and kind of a little bit different than the other firms, but still, just trying to get their fees right. But here is their commercial for their ETF. But I think we're seeing a seeing a theme here, right? These commercials, they're not really anything crazy, right? They're just kind of here's Bitcoin, the word Bitcoin, buy the ETF. There's nothing really going on here. It's what you'd expect, right? From not really anything serious. These guys are just kind of coming out here trying to push their ETF to get their names out there first so that they're the first things people hear of, so they're the funds people go to, right? That's kind of their strategy right now, it seems like. And it should ramp up. It should get better over time, hopefully, because these are not good commercials. Now, this next one from Hashdex, which I think is their second one. Their first one was a Hashdex, I think, and this one is a lot better. This one actually has, if you look at towards like the meaning behind it, it's still not a great commercial, but at least there's some sort of substance there where you can see where they're going with all this, and it's just kind of actually better messaging than anything that we've seen so far.
It's amazing to me the tremendous impact that the home computers have had on everyone, and yet it seems that people I've talked to say that it takes you longer to do something by putting it into a computer and calling it up again than if you just kept simple records yourself in the house.
So we still have the similar concept, right? Just kind of say the word Bitcoin or put the word Bitcoin on the screen, be like, oh my God, Bitcoin. But at least this has some sort of draw to it, some sort of actual message where this first part here is someone talking about the computer saying, oh my God, it's supposed to be this great thing, but it takes longer to use it than it's worth. And now you fast forward a few years later, and now we all walk around with a computer in our pockets 24/7, unable to ever look away from it. So, people who are looking at disruptive technology look at it from, obviously not what it can do, because nobody knows what it can do. No one expected the internet when it first came around to be what it is today and social media to be a thing. No one could have predicted that because no one knew what to expect. So it's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? We think we know what to expect in the future, but we don't know what happens. We don't know what the future looks like with Bitcoin and with Bitcoin as a money, or if Bitcoin is adopted everywhere and everyone uses it and lightning scales and there's no more problems with scaling and stuff. Nobody really knows, right? You can't judge that. You can't predict that. It's impossible to. So this commercial is by far the best one out of all of them. There is another commercial, but I'm not even going to bother doing it because it's another just boring, like nothing going on. Bitcoin written on the screen. Like there's nothing really going on here. And that might be a little bit disappointing to some of these commercials, as the hype for this ETF is getting ramped up and up and up. And these commercials for them are not delivering on that. Again, hopefully there's a turning point here where the ETFs either get launched and they have to take this more seriously because they're all going to be fighting to be the biggest ETF to collect the most fees. They are not loving Bitcoin and the message and the fundamentals and self-sovereignty and the freedom that comes with Bitcoin. They don't care about that at all. They want to make money. That's the incentive here. So that's what they're going to do. They want to be the biggest fund to collect the most amount of fees. That's pretty simple, right? And once more people get involved, BlackRock starts advertising and sending their foot soldiers on the, getting people to come into their ETF and stuff. Fidelity can start doing this stuff. Once the big guys start to come in, it'll just make the quality have to be better. You'll have to market better if you want to get any sort of share. And they're all going to have to do that. And I think that is going to push these commercials to be better, because right now, they're not good. These are not good commercials. These aren't convincing anyone, right? If you see these, they're not memorable. No one is, seeing this commercial, any of these, and then a week later thinking of that commercial. It's very forgettable. It's not memorable. Nobody cares. They're just kind of doing it because they have to. They're trying to get ready for the ETFs to be launched, which again should be January 10th. That's the date that everyone's looking for. It should be a big thing, right? That should be everyone staring at that. There's people are saying it's going to be sell the news event. There's people saying it can't possibly sell the news event. Who knows what's going to happen? Everyone's speculating. The price can go up or down. Who really cares? Short term doesn't matter. Long term, it's going up forever, Laura, right? So we will see what these ETFs do as a AUM. That's the really interesting part, is where even the analysts and the big banks and guys are saying this won't do more than $1 billion in the first year. Some people saying it'll do $40 billion in the first year for money flowing in. Nobody knows. Everyone's guessing, and it's just going to be fun to see it all play out. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next